Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Haxball Tactical Analysis. Let's look into this situation and see what went wrong here for the red team. Okay. Alright. Let's see this situation in depth. So we're going to start off from here. Let's just start from over here. So essentially here we have a 3 versus 4 situation, considering that maybe this player is a little bit out of position after the ricochet, so he's trying to compensate now, he's trying to come close, but this shouldn't be too much of an issue here for the blue team to defend. Now here, PK here, he has essentially only one option. I want you to note here that this player is trying to get behind here behind green in this situation. I wouldn't say that is a bad play, because it's essentially trying to disrupt the defense, and if somehow the ball goes through one of these lines, like this line or that line, then it could be a free goal. So offering yourself here, like if we assume that the red attacker here didn't do what he did, if he was to stay here, he wasn't gonna be much more useful in this situation, since the pass up there is not possible. So I would say the positioning is fine in this situation. Essentially the only opportunity is to pass here to the number 9, which exactly is what happens. Now first mistake I see here on the blue side, and essentially the mistakes start to happen from here. Here the maestro guy has to stay closer, so you don't give this much space for the player. Essentially when you've had time to read the situation and to know that PK is actually passing to this guy because he has no other option, and playing this defensively and this passively is not earning you anything, because you don't have the goal to protect. Like essentially this is the player who can protect the goal because he is in the most centered position in the defense. He's like a central defender, if we could take the football analogy. So the pass is going, this player tried to intercept but he couldn't, and now there are several options you could do when you are facing this situation. Now it could the next step for Leva here could be to make that pass here for that player, and this could be dangerous because it moves the ball here and you have 3 players down here. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind. And here this player, since he's out of position, he's in no way able to stop that pass here. If I was him, I would do everything I can to just isolate Piqué from this play. Like just block him, stay in front of him, don't let him play anymore with the ball. And what essentially should happen is, like, if this player isolates this player and this player is taking care of that player, as soon as that ball is taken from number 9, and if he attempts to turn to make that pass here to number 27, that's when you want to be ready to push here and to intercept, because if the ball goes up there and it has travel time, of course, you will be able to regroup. Here green would be able to go backwards and play with this player, and you would essentially have a 2 versus 2 up here in this area, while these players here would be isolated. So this is the correct way to approach it in my opinion. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so he takes the ball, takes some time. Now these 2 players are trying to press him. It's getting like the pass here is not that possible anymore, because Gomez here is probably gonna intercept. But I don't like that he let Piqué get in front. Of course he went downwards too, which makes it easier for him to play with the ball, but still As I said earlier, I would prefer that player to isolate this player completely, and this player is staying way too close. Like in the previous pose, they were close, they were expected, that's fine. But now, as soon as that seconds that just passed between this pose and the previous one, that's enough for this player to know that he should be a little up in its positioning, because there is no point in staying that close. And again, I'm saying this in the context of knowing that that player will isolate. Like if this player doesn't isolate, and if you're positioned here and Piqué plays with the ball, it could be a shot. I'm not saying it's enough power to go in. I can't calculate that at the moment, but still it's a possibility. So yeah, definitely some things to keep in mind here on the blue side. You want that player to isolate, and you want that player to get closer to this one in case the pass happens and everybody else is covering somebody. So always like the whole thinking process that you guys should have is like in each situation, who is not covering anybody. And now, of course, you don't want that player to be covering that player because he's too far away. But you have to think, okay, if I'm not covering anybody, what is the best position I can be so I can help my teammates? And here, you're not helping anything. You're just watching the duel from close distance, and you're not assisting with anything. I'm not saying like stay super aggressive, I'll say it again, but maybe a little bit upwards. You would still be able to block a shot from Piqué, and still in case a pass happens, you would be a lot closer to press. Like if you were positioned here and the pass is given in that direction, you would have the advantage to meet the ball probably at the same time with number 27, which essentially kills red attack, because you know when two players meet the ball, let's say if the ball is here and these two players meet it here, you know what happens, like it's just gonna be a ricochet upwards or downwards, which essentially for blue it's winning because you're protecting from the attack. Moving on. Now we see this player completely out of position. This is something you don't want to do, like you missed your mark. This is a big mistake. This should not happen. The other thing that I see that also should not happen is in this situation here, if you're the blue player, you don't want to let the red player play behind. So you have to have the reflexes, you have to play fast. This is essentially the individual skill. This is essentially how you prove to be a better player than the enemy and how you win duels. It's like you expect him to pass and you know that he's immediately going backwards in that direction, and as soon as he passes you want to go backwards before him. You always want to be ahead. And now I know it's hard because the attacker is the one that makes the first move, but still, like after the pass happens, you have to react as quick as possible. Like I understand in some situations it's not possible to be first, but this is a complete full example of a red player being faster than the blue player and taking the advantage, and now he offers himself. You're essentially, if you're blue player here, you're eliminated by this move. So he doesn't have the ball, but he still eliminates you from the game. And you have no way to stop him when he proceeds here and expects a pass. So this is something that you 100% want to avoid. And of course, this is definitely a smaller mistake than the one that the striker here did, because now Piqué sends the ball upwards, and now here it's very tricky. Like this player should be ready for that pass to intercept, but he's not, and we will see what happens on the next unpause. But again, here you saw that player. Now if he was positioned more upward, I'm not saying he was gonna interrupt, but you will see on the next unpause when this player gave the back pass, if Sergio here is in a better spot, he probably could have intercepted I'm not saying the first pass. If this is the first pass and this is the second one, I'm saying he was gonna intercept probably the second pass. But this is just pure positioning. If he didn't, if he wasn't so low, because being here, if you're Serbian and you're here, your only advantage of the position is to press Piqué early, and to press Piqué early and to intercept the ball. If you don't intercept the ball, see how bad it happens to be. You have 3 blue players versus 2 red players. So the 3 blue players are being eliminated, the ball is sent upwards, and now you have the man advantage, and especially with that player staying behind. And now I'm saying this, and this is not the worst part. The worst part is about to come now when I unpause. So the ball is flying, that player is going backwards for some reason, and it's not trying to intercept. Serbia somehow expects the teammate to intercept, so they both move forward, trying to go for a counter attack. And again, I've said it in previous videos, it's fine if you know that it's a gamble and your teammate might intercept. It's about chances, it's about taking your chances. If you know you have the higher probability of intercepting, then it's worth it. You can make a very powerful and dangerous counter attack. But in this case, that's totally not true. Like, it's not possible that he intercepts because he's too far away. And I'm saying it again. I don't know why he stays too far away. Maybe in his defense, he would be able to say, I was staying back because I was expecting this pass and I wanted to be positioned a little bit backward so I could maybe protect from intercept that pass, or have time to go back to the goal to defend after if this guy was to approach. There are different situations and different logic that you could apply here to move on, but overall with this situation it was wrong. And again, gonna say it again, this is not good. Like, you're far away, you don't even have the chance to block that player. Like, you're totally out of the position. And now with these players moving forward, this player isolated, you have a 3 versus 1 situation. This is the only blue player that can do anything, and he's again out of position. If he was closer, yes, it was gonna be risky, but he could intercept. And if he intercepted the ball in that direction, it was going to be dangerous. But still, even if he intercepted in that direction, it's still fine, because you have a 3 versus 1 and you're winning. Like, if that's going to be big on green here, if he manages to intercept that ball. He's essentially killing red attack while being alone, which is great. But he doesn't do it. And now here is the 1-2. He presses way too late. Like, the ball is already traveling downwards. Well, why are you had to press earlier. You had to anticipate that pass going up. This guy is totally dominating the player, as I said, going downwards. He even stops playing. Like here again, I'm not gonna. Everybody that is watching this video knows that this should be a goal. Everybody. So I'm gonna just pretend that this didn't happen, because we all know it did. There's nothing to comment about it. This should be a goal. But until the goal is over, the ball is over here, it's not goal. So this player essentially stopped playing. And why I know this? I know this because in this situation, you know from the previous ball, this Maestro guy was here. And if you see that opportunity, if you're level, you have to block him. You have to block him and stop him. You don't have to let him go there, because now I'll say it again. This should be a goal. I'm not blaming Leva here for that not being a goal. I'm blaming Piqué. That's everybody should know that. But because mistakes happen, as you saw, like Piqué couldn't hit the ball properly and he didn't have enough power. But if Leva here blocked that guy, ball could have went in. And that could have been a goal. Let's look at it. So yeah, he blocks. So, yep, this is something that definitely the blue team needs to work on. And on the red side, pretty much they exploited the defenses of the blue team. But here, Piqué, of course, needs to be a lot more focused in these situations, because this has to be a goal. And Lewandowski here needs to play until the end, needs to assist the teammates, block the enemy, made the perfect movement behind, just needed to block, and that could have been a goal as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.